Greetings, dear ones. It's Stacy with Shakti Revolution. It is our belief that our future is determined upon the awakening of the sacred feminine within everyone. Tonight, I will be discussing Vajrayogini, who is one of the ultimate Tantric goddesses, really the embodiment of the Mahavidyas, Kali, Chinamasta. She is absolutely exquisite and is the essence or the embodiment of Tantra. We think about sacred embodiment. That's kind of a buzzword lately, but what is that really? What is wild? What does being wild mean? The fact is that women especially have been tamed, and men as well, and all of us, we've been tamed or rendered in a way that may or may not be against our true nature. So Vaijrayogini is here to remind us to embrace and become the wild, sacred feminine that is only defined by you, my friends. So this is part of my lineage, and what I've been doing is actually an advanced tantric practice, which is to learn about a deity or a Buddha and then proceed to embody it, or the energy in the phenomenal world, her. So I grew up a Mormon. My faith was questioned, and I was called into the bishop's office. I was about 10, so I was a little bit disconcerted about this, that being called into the bishop's office. And, he had a conversation with me about my faith or what was going on for me. And at one point I asked, knowing that boys could become priests at the age of 12, when I would be a priestess. And he leaned over and laughed a little bit, kind of a little ha, 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 something like that. And he said, never. And at that moment, I was discounted, disenfranchised, diminished, and felt like I didn't really want to be in part of any religion. And that story happens to most women. We simply don't see ourselves within any organized religion, including, by the way, Tibetan Buddhism, which is full of men mostly. And I have been fortunate to have a teacher who studied with very high Rinpoches and Rishis, and another enlightened teacher, two enlightened women. And I feel called to do what I can to uplift humanity, and I feel that now is a time for us to all raise our consciousness or our awareness and how we operate in the world, moving more into a place of love and compassion and communication and wisdom, and away from conquest, competition, and illusion. So Vajrayogini is a female Buddha. And we don't hear a lot about female Buddhas or female Christs, if you will, because they simply don't have much of an advertising campaign in the West. In the West, we have Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. And that ranges typically maybe a virgin, a prostitute, or a holy mother. And the fact is that most women lie in between. So she represents passion, free of all selfishness and delusion. She has such great love for humanity that she works tirelessly and intensely for the well-being of others. And she's often seen with a knife. Now, this is Kali, it's very close to Vajrayogini, but they'll be seen with a knife, and they'll be slicing and dicing heads. And those heads are demons or they also represent the ego, and ego clinging through her fiery nature. She is thus viewed as being very well suited for people with strong passions, providing a means to transform passions into enlightened virtues. And this, by the way, also means disdain or anger towards something, or maybe some sort of inequity that you feel is going. Taking that energy and literally transforming it into what you choose to render in this world. So, as a meditation deity, her practice includes methods of transforming ordinary experiences, including death, as paths of enlightenment. So in Tantra, one of the great teachings is that death is always in front of you. Very powerful teaching. And in the West, we have lost touch with the sacred. And Vajrayogini teaches us to, again, make enlightened experiences out of everything, such as maybe eating this craisin, to like really, really taste something, instead of rushing through our experiences, never getting enough, never being enough, never feeling enough, because of the shame that has been put on the very foundation of our culture, which is spirituality. Much of it is ruled, and our beingness is ruled by the immature masculine, and now is the time for the sacred feminine to rise. So she's associated with the 6 yogas of Naropa. And she's described as the ḍākiṇī, who is the essence or the mother of all Buddhas. So a scholar, Miranda Shaw, said the Vajrayogini is inarguably the highest or supreme tantric deity in the pantheon. No male Buddha, including her divine consort, Chakra Samvara, approaches her in mystical or practical import. She's often visualized as the translucent, deep red form of a 16-year-old girl, with a third eye of wisdom set vertically on her forehead, with unbound flowing hair. Tantric goddesses are not Instagram ready, y'all. She's got a kartika, which is a Vajra-handled fillet knife, in her right hand, and a kapala filled with blood in her left hand, as she drinks with her upturned mouth, which is showing her actual belief in herself. And her consort, Chakra Mansvara, is often depicted on her left shoulder, in which she is a solitary hero form. She's badass. She's a warrior. She's the ultimate loving mother. She is the embodiment of desire. Her head is adorned with a crown of 5 human skulls, as she wears a necklace of 50 human skulls. And she's cutting out the illusion. She's not hurting our essence. She's cutting out the illusion. She's often depicted as at the center of a blazing fire, which represents her wisdom. Her countenance is both erotic and fierce, in the fullness of bliss, laughing and baring her fangs. Yes, she has fangs. So every aspect of Vajrayogini's form and mandala is designed to convey a spiritual meaning. For example, her red-colored body symbolizes the blazing heat of her chakras, and her kundalini, or her shakti energy, life force energy. It also may represent menstrual blood, or birth, or life. Her face symbolizes that she has realized that all phenomena are of one nature, emptiness. Her arms symbolize the realization of these 2 truths. Her 3 eyes symbolize her ability to see everything in the past, the present, and the future. She looks upward towards pure ḍākiṇī land, demonstrating her attainment of inner and outer purity, and letting them know that she has the ability to lead her followers to the same attainments. The curved knife in her right hand shows her power to cut through the continuum of the delusions and the obstacles of her followers and all living beings. Drinking the blood from the kapala in her left hand symbolizes her experience of the clear light of bliss. So Shakti Tribe will be offering some Vajrayogini practices. I am, as I say, a beginner. I'm actually just learning these practices. I do have some other practices that I love, done for many, many years. Kirby is the Vajrayogini expert, and we'll be sharing some of this because she feels to me like the essence of the Mahavidyas and all of the Tantric goddesses rolled up into one. And her practices are simple, powerful, profound, and effective, and especially work in turbulent times such as these. So your heaven is here when our mind is clear. We must illuminate the path and draw the mind back, as Porenge would say. Check out Porenge. So I'll be offering some teachings in the Mahavidyas and also teachings of Vajrayogini in April. And we will be exploring sacred, eco, feminism, and Tantra this summer. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for hanging out with me, and Jai Ma.